Hello, I'm Roxanne. Welcome back to the Zest YouTube channel where we talk all things Freshservice. Today, I'm answering frequently asked questions about Freshservice, and it's about sharing tickets. So, sharing tickets was something that came in a little while ago, but it's not always clear about how it works and what's going on. So, sharing tickets allows a requester or an agent to share a ticket with somebody specifically who may not otherwise have visibility of that ticket. So, generally within Fresh, we can see our tickets as users in the self-service portal. So I might have my tickets. This is me pretending to be a requester. My tickets in the self-service portal, and there's none here for this, which is no good. So I would see everything that was mine. Now, if the requester had access to see all tickets from their department, or in MSP mode, all tickets from their companies, they would have an extra option here to see all my department's tickets or see all my company's tickets. The extra option here is shared with me tickets. So generally the requester can only see tickets which relate to them when they are the requester, not necessarily the requested for. Agents can also only see tickets where they have the permission. So typically that's member and observer groups. For small instances, generally we say set the permissions quite wide so that users are able to see all tickets because it's all about collaboration. However, in larger instances, it's quite common for example, almost agents to be able to do things and have slightly higher permissions in their kind of what I would call family groups. So maybe when you're running a large IT department, the service desk and the service request team can edit each other's tickets because they share a lot of tickets, but maybe our third line teams, the service desk, can only view those tickets, not update them. For example, might be one way you choose to do it. So we're talking about sharing tickets. So sharing tickets has a couple of different places where the permissions can be set and controlled depending on what's going on. So to be able to share a ticket, the button is up here. So I can choose to share with specific people and they will get a notification that the ticket's been shared with them, or I can share a public link. So that's an encoded link that if I have the link to that ticket, I can see that ticket regardless of whether I am an agent or a requester in Fresh. However, I will only be able to see public comments, public notes, and any fields that are set in the properties of the business rules or in the field manager rules. So I won't be able to, even if the ticket was shared with me, see any agent only fields or anything that's not visible to the requester in any of those settings. So it doesn't give the sharee everything on a ticket, it gives them the public information on the ticket. So I can come in here and I can share this with somebody, and then what's going to happen is Racer's going to get notification that I've shared it with him, and effectively he's going to get the watcher notifications out of Fresh. So depending on, again, how your Fresh is set up, at the very bottom here have got CC and share notifications. So you can choose to make these exactly the same as your general notifications. Typically, I like to set them up so it's clear that this isn't about your ticket, it's about a ticket where you've been added as a CC. So you're aware, because some people get confused and like, why am I including this ticket? It's not mine. It's like, it's because you were added as kind of a watcher so you can see what's going on with it and you're getting actively notified. That's one way to do it. The other thing is, you have to make sure that this is set. So this has recently moved. I'm pretty sure this is the new position for it. So I'm in service desk settings here under admin, and I can choose whether someone can indeed do ticket sharing at all. So I can disable the public link sharing if I don't want to allow that. If I've got particularly sensitive tickets, maybe if you work in a regulated environment, you're handling a lot of PII data, medical data, customer data, you may want to disable that. I can restrict the ability to share outside of workspaces and groups. So I'm not then allowing, maybe I want to say like, I'm going to restrict that because I don't want someone to accidentally share a HR ticket, for example, or a cyber ticket if it wasn't particularly locked down. And then whether or not I want to allow my requesters to share tickets. So we were just looking at the agent view. We can share as agents, and there's a permission for that in the roles. I can also allow my requesters to share in the portal. So we've got that turned on at the minute, and then I can say they can share with anyone, or indeed they can share only with their department. Again, it depends on your business and what your priorities are and what your security requirements are. So in the requester view, we can see we've got this share So Rachel here, me pretending to be Rachel's requester, can then share that public link if she wanted to. So maybe she wants an escalation, maybe she's sharing with a colleague that needs to be able to see. The requester can also make that share. But the sharee would only see exactly what Rachel's seeing here. So she's not going to see all the fields on a ticket or all the comments on a ticket. She's only going to see what's public and see what's going on there. But you can disable that feature or restrict Rachel to only sharing with her within her own department, for example. And I was wrong. There isn't a specific permission for sharing. It's either on or it's off from an agent point of view in our security panel here, or you can't hide it with business rules and you can't hide it with permissions. So again, depends on the security setup for your instance, depends on what your CISO or InfoSec representative wants to do. If you want to disable it, it's here under settings. If you want to restrict it, it's very difficult to restrict. And I will also make a comment that it is not audited as an action. There are ways and means around it, and if that's something that you want to talk about and talk about solutions for, we have implemented for other customers. But you do need to be aware, if you have the ticket sharing turned on, and then you need to know who that ticket's been shared with and why and who did it, that is not an audited action in Fresh. So when you go look at the ticket activities on here, it sees it here, but you can't go through the audit log looking for it. And you can't go through the reporting looking for it. So if it happened and you know it happened on a ticket, you can do that and you can go find it. You can see I did it there. But if you're trying to look after the fact and go, which tickets have been shared without knowing, it's not easy to do in the reporting. We have come up with ways and means of handling that for individual customers where that's been important. And if that's something that you want to talk about, then please drop us a line and we'll happily help you out with coming up with a solution that suits for you. But it's just something to be aware of as part of ticket sharing. So hopefully that was really helpful, explaining how ticket sharing works real quick, and notifications as ever. If there is anything that's not clear or I've been too quick on, I know I talk too quick sometimes, drop us a comment on YouTube. We do our best to get back to our email at hello@zest.co.uk, and we're always happy to answer questions, and it provides a lot of inspiration for new videos of what people want to understand and what we take for granted. So thanks very much for your time today, and see you on the next one. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest features and tutorials. If you or your organization need help with Freshservice, check out our consulting, implementation, training and support services at our website, zest.co.uk. Zest, a fresh perspective.